Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, how are you all? It is the 29th of July. Monday the 29th of July. I can't believe where this year is going. I hope you have all enjoyed the warmer weather we've been having lately. I certainly have. And thank you all for joining me today, or if you're watching on the replay, thank you for watching the replay. For those of you who haven't watched these before, so I go live once a month on the Facebook page, just to kind of give a real brief roundup of what's been changing in the social media world and landscape for the last month. So just some of the key headlines, as well as to give you some kind of advice around what that might mean for you as business owners. I've had a few people lately say that they've really enjoyed these videos. It's so nice to hear that. And I've even had a couple of clients who I've mentored recently who have gone back over the last couple of years of me doing this. I can't believe it's been that long, actually. In fact, longer than that, I think. 2016, I think. I want to say the first Facebook Live I did. And bless them, a couple of my mentees went back and watched every single Facebook Live I'd done, just so they can be brought up to speed with everything, which is so lush. So thanks. I'm just so glad that people enjoy them and watch them and getting loads of value from them. So fantastic. So if you aren't already, I didn't tag the group in it, did I? Oh, that was silly. If you, let's see if I can edit this now. Yes, lovely job. So if you haven't already joined the Social Media Academy Facebook group, do hop along and join that now, because every month after the roundup here on this page, I go into the Facebook group and live stream in there for a 15-minute opportunity for Q&A. So if there's anything I talk about in the roundups that you don't get, or you want some more information on, or whether you've just had a few questions come up in the last month or so since working on your social media, it's a great opportunity for you to come and just have a 15-minute freebie, if you like, free advice. Any questions, you can come along and ask. So join. I just tagged in the group. It should be there now. I just tagged the group, so do join if you're not already in there. Okay, so let's move on, shall we? Loads of things, some really quirky bits that have changed this month. Let's have a quick start with YouTube, because a lot of people ask me about YouTube and video content, and it's such a great social media channel because for various reasons. One, because the search engine optimization is fantastic. Obviously, Google owns YouTube, so if you are creating content on there, it's advantageous. It's a great place to really share kind of how-to videos and to really position yourself in kind of a thought leadership capacity. And also it's a content bank, isn't it? So those videos will continue working for you from a search engine point of view. Whereas creating video on other channels like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, kind of, they're tomorrow's chip paper, I guess, if you want, for a better word. Once you've done it, you've reaped the benefits of the algorithms, etc., and the engagement, but then they're kind of fallen down. Whereas at least if you have a YouTube channel, you can create content that's like evergreen ultimately and will always be useful. But they are now rolling out a new tool to allow users to customize video recommendations that they receive. So that means that the user can tell the platform through tagging mechanisms what sort of content they enjoy, whether that's gaming or social media or arts and crafts, etc., etc. So it's allowing them to customize their recommendations. What that means for businesses is that you've really got to think about two things. One, creating valuable content. So how can you turn your business into that how-tos and what's, and what is it that you do that you can turn into that valuable content that doesn't give away everything, but that it's free value. So how to really great, knowledge based, that type of stuff. But also it means that make sure you are using the correct tags in your content. When you upload your video into YouTube, make sure that you're putting the right tags in and that you are giving it a good description and using all the keywords to help it, to help your content be found easier. So make sure you do that. Cool, so that's that brief update on YouTube, which I liked that little update. LinkedIn, something which I found was quite interesting this month is two things. I think they're really starting to look at business pages, corporate pages, and the development of that. So if you haven't got a corporate page, I've always kind of thought that for smaller businesses, they're great really just as a kind of landing page and for that search engine element, especially when you're a small business with a few employees. As you start to become larger businesses, medium-sized businesses, and you want to sell the reasons for people to work for you as an kind of employee positioning tool, then corporate pages are really great. And they started to roll out new features over the last couple of years, and they're kind of putting a lot of work into them. But recently they've introduced call to action buttons. So similar to your Facebook page, where you can have a learn more or a book now or inquire or course, etc. They're now introducing these onto LinkedIn pages. So keep a lookout for that, and it might be time for you to revive your LinkedIn company page. The other thing is that they are really changing their algorithms. So in line with a lot of the other networks that we're seeing, the algorithm is starting to prioritize authentic conversation. So we've always been talking about conversation loads this year, and Facebook changed its algorithms recently, actually, in the end of last year, to prioritize conversation in the newsfeed. So similarly, now they're rolling that out to LinkedIn. Productive and authentic backwards and forward conversations, which users are genuinely interested in, because when you have that backward and forward, it's a signal to those algorithms that the content is useful. So they're going to prioritize that to other people to be seen, as opposed to just kind of showing it chronological, or that algorithm where it's kind of like, who do you connect with more, and we'll show you that content. And they'll also prioritize direct connections, such as your colleagues, and that kind of first connection. So it does mean that as a business, again, you need to focus on creating value and stuff that people will want to engage with, which, for me, it can't be a bad thing. There's so much content out there. We really have to focus on giving people something that they're actually going to want to see and talk about and engage with, as opposed to just flooding our streams with links to news articles and unless of course you're broadcast medium, but again, it's going to be useful for them to have conversation on their pages. And the other thing on LinkedIn as well, actually, is that they've introduced a new feature for small business owners and freelancers, as like a little button to switch on that says they're open for business. I don't think this is entirely new. Well, it is new, but based on the option that they had for personal profiles from a job seeker point of view, they allowed us to switch on a feature that said looking for work. So this is just kind of a graduation from that, really. But yeah, you can sort of say, as a freelancer or a business owner, you're actively seeking work and clients, which is great. Okay, and that could really help you be whittled down in any search functions that if people are looking for, i.e. social media consultants, and they find a whole stream of availability, or sorry, a whole stream of search results of people and possible connections, they'll be able to perhaps narrow down those search results by seeing who is actively accepting work opportunities. So it's worth looking at adding that on if you haven't already. What else have we got? Twitter. Twitter's new desktop, of course. They launched their new desktop mode for users. And has anybody seen it or used it yet? Let me know. I, like with any desktop update, it gets a bit difficult to start with. I go, oh, where is everything? It looks really different. But I think in the long run, it's easier to use and it's much bolder. So we can see all those options up front. So down the left hand side, you've got your mentions, your notifications. So it's kind of, from a user experience, I guess, it feels like it could be a lot easier. Yes, but it's introduced like bookmarking tweets now, as opposed to just kind of liking them, because of course if you like stuff, it just falls down into this endless stream of tweets that you've liked. So bookmarking is going to be useful. A dark mode and an explore page on the desktop version, similar to Instagram. So yes, hopefully that'll be easy for you guys to use from a desktop. Let me know. What else? Pinned lists as well from the homepage. I use a lot of lists. If you haven't used them yet on Twitter, they're a great way to compartmentalize and to catalog, I guess, the content of people that you are interested in. So clients or businesses, local businesses in the area, people, your competitors. That way, if you end up following, as we all know, like 2,000, 3,000 people on Twitter, when you open up your newsfeed, stream of activity is so overwhelming, and you're never going to, don't scroll back to 9 o'clock in the morning to catch up on all those tweets. So I really utilize lists to really kind of hone in on the content that I could be potentially interested in. Okay, so that was our Twitter update. That was our YouTube, our LinkedIn, WhatsApp. Just a quick update on WhatsApp. They've introduced QR codes. I've been talking a lot more. I'll say a lot, not. I haven't been talking a lot, but I have been talking a lot more about WhatsApp for business with potential clients, and specifically in my training as well. Great that WhatsApp for business is now Android and iOS. It's fantastic if you are the type of business that can sort of take appointments, or you have an audience who prefer to have push notifications and perhaps texting and that private exchange of information, as opposed to this open platform stuff that we're used to. And it's free, so WhatsApp for Business has a lot of opportunity in it. And they've just introduced QR codes for adding contacts, so it's just an easier mechanism for people to find you. So that's good. And if you haven't yet joined Naturally Social's WhatsApp channel, please do. If you're interested, I will share the QR code with you, or I can PM you the number that we're attached to. So yeah, another way that you guys can contact us via WhatsApp. Instagram. What's changed in Instagram? Ads on the Explore tab now. So predominantly that's always been about discovery of content for people, what's recommended. I think a lot of users are using the Explore functionality in order to, as I said, discover new people and new content. And now the ads mechanism is rolling out advertising in the Explore feed too. So you're getting more exposure there for your money, I guess. We've got a new chat sticker for stories. So you can invite 30 people can join group chats now directly from stories through adding those stickers. Stickers are great in stories. The tools that they're giving you now are fantastic. So yeah, if you want to sort of build up some really specific advice and some specific communities and get feedback perhaps as a business, creating stories and then inviting people into chat modes will be a great way to build some authenticity and better relationships with your clients. They've also introduced a restrict feature, which I thought was good, on the back of obviously everything that we've been looking at with bullying and young people on the platform. It's given users some abilities to get rid of bullies on Instagram ultimately. So they now have a restrict feature, which allows users to do what it says on the tin, restrict seeing that content from potential bullies or people harassing them, but also monitor their content. So if somebody was spamming posts with, kind of offensive content and comments and stuff that's really quite cruel, then they can restrict that and not have those shown to anybody else. So and remember, all these new features, as they're introduced, always update your app in order for those new features to be shown, because a lot of people don't do that. And they go, oh, I don't have this feature on mine. But yeah, you'll always need to update your app to get that. Okay, so last couple of bits. Facebook is, sorry, I just have a look at my notes here. Actually, Pinterest on advertising. Anna sent over a link this morning before I went live. Pinterest apparently have updated the advertising modules so that you can now boost posts and pins, you can boost pins from your mobile app, so that making advertising more accessible to people on that channel, which is great. And then lastly, Facebook changes. What have we got? So there's a couple, because I was going to see what one I should leave to the end, which one I enjoyed the most. They've added Facebook has introduced an up-to-date to stories tagging from Instagram. So when people tag your account in an Instagram story and share it to Facebook, their Facebook story links to your page, which is fantastic. So if you are incentivizing or actively seeking user-generated content, be sure to encourage people, and this could be a great way in terms of competitive and get a bit of reach. Get people to tag you through Instagram, share it to their story, because if you do have a page, it'll automatically then tag that page, and so it's giving you double the exposure on both channels, but you do need to encourage people to do that and tag. We've got a suggested moderators option coming in for Facebook groups. Probably not necessary if you have a branded group, because you probably wouldn't give somebody that's a member of your group moderation rights on your branded Facebook group. But if you run a social community Facebook group and it's kind of growing and getting really big, they can have a suggested moderators function to say, hey, this person actually could support you with administrating the group. So I really like that. They've also released a report to help advertisers better connect with their audiences over the summer. The report contains information about what users prefer to do over the summer months. So this is really going to give advertisers and brands an insight into how they can appeal to their target audience by incorporating that information in their ad campaigns. And Facebook are pretty good with how they support small businesses in creating ads. All the tools are available to you in terms of creating great copy, creating great ads that connect and kind of interact with people, and the formats, etc. They're really good. And providing you with this data is also really helpful. So what I'll do is I'll get Anna to put the link in the comments below so that you guys can have a read up on that. And then lastly, a new feature I quite liked. They've introduced the option to share your organic posts to your top fans only. So when you click on the share button, hello Brian, good afternoon, hope you're well. Thank you for joining, and Mark, thank you for joining as well. Yeah, so Facebook's option for pages to target their top fans. When you create a post, as we know, the algorithms are really difficult to get your entire page audience to see something. So now you can actually, even if it's incentivizing, competitions, special offers, or something that you know they'll react really well to, you can just target your top fans through that post, and that's organically. It's not even paid. So when you write out your post, there'll be a little option next to share, and it can depend on, it'll say your top fans or a whole page audience. It'll be included in that little bit. So yeah, have a think about how you might want to use that. This could really impact businesses, as I said, to help you target people who are more likely to be interested in your events and your news without having to pay for stuff. So really like that feature. Cool. And lastly, just a little bit of data for you, because you love a bit of data. Some research has come out recently evidencing that the kind of 16 to 30-year-olds are deleting open social media channels. So we're starting to see less of that age using things like Facebook and Snapchat. Instead, they're moving towards really kind of closed communities. So things like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Facebook groups, and Twitch. So channels like that, where it is really about a close-knit community of shared interest, where it's a one-on-one exchange of conversation. That's what that age group is really kind of flowing towards at the moment. So worth bearing in mind, if that's your age group that you're trying to target, how best you can adapt your social strategy to fit in with that. But we'll add the links to that too. Cool. So just coming up to the 20-minute mark. Woohoo! I've managed to stay on time this one. That's it, guys. That's it from me. If you do have any questions, then head on over to the Social Media Academy group. I've just put the link to the group in that post. At 1:45, I'll be going live just for 15 minutes only, and you can ask me any questions you like about your social media strategy. If you want advice about anything, anything at all, then come along and join in that live. Let's have a look. Is that why my Facebook has changed? What in my timeline? Mind you, I'm not in the 30-year-old section. No, so what I'm saying, Brian, is that 30-year-olds are removing things like Facebook in favour of closed communities like groups and Messenger. So yes, one of the reasons if you're seeing more group content, that's because Facebook does prioritise community groups a lot of the time. But certainly what appears in your timeline would have been changed based on a lot of factors and algorithms. But yeah, hop into the Social Media Academy if you want some further advice around that. I'll be happy to talk to you. So I'll see you there, guys, at 1:45. Thanks so much, and see you next month. Remember, last Monday of the month we go live.